Hi friends, welcome back. For today's lesson, all you need is your thinking cap and your listening ears, and that's it. So let's get started by opening up something that I received in the mail. Another mission envelope. I wonder if we got another letter. Ooh. We got mission letter number 5. Okay, as I'm reading our mission letter, read along on the screen with me. You are ready to begin. First graders, we are happy to tell you that headquarters is ready for you to brainstorm a magnificent thing to help you learn. Don't forget that you learned how tools help to do work and make our lives easier. Also, keep in mind how you learn that habits of character are needed to do work too. You will need to use tools and habits of character for this task. In order to complete your mission, you will need to think about what you could build to help you learn. Think about a small problem that you might be able to solve if you build a magnificent thing. Here are some questions to help you think about what you might need. 1. Is there any material that needs to be more organized? 2. Do you have a place for important papers or mail? 3. Is there information that you need that will help you read and write, like high-frequency words? Are there any materials that are missing that could be made? Good luck. Headquarters cannot wait to see what you come up with. Oh my goodness! Wow, it sounds like we are about ready to make our magnificent thing. And I know that we have been really studying and thinking about magnificent things and tools, so I know you're ready for this part. Let's go back into our letter and reread a few sections. First, I want to read paragraphs 1 and 2. First graders, we are happy to tell you that headquarters is ready for you to brainstorm a magnificent thing to help you learn. Don't forget that you learned how tools help to do work and make our lives easier. Also, keep in mind how you learned that habits of character are needed to do work too. You will need to use tools and habits of character for this task. Our letter says that we're going to need some things to get this task done. Did you hear any of those things that we're going to need? That's right, we're going to need tools. What else are we going to need? Habits of character, yes, like initiative, collaboration, and perseverance. That's right. Let's look back into our letter one more time. In order to complete your mission, you will need to think about what you could build to help you learn. Think about a small problem that you might be able to solve if you build a magnificent thing. Okay, in our letter in the third paragraph, it says that we're going to have to think about something that could help us, what's the missing word there? Help us learn. That's right. And I think that we're going to need a text to help us get the job done. Can you think of a text that we've read this year that might help us build a magnificent thing? That's right, this text right here, the most magnificent thing. So we'll be using that text kind of as a guide as we begin to plan for our magnificent thing. Good job. Let's look at our learning target before we use our text. Today's learning target says, I can describe steps used in the most magnificent thing to build a magnificent thing. Let's read that again. I can describe steps used in the most magnificent thing to build a magnificent thing. Our learning target said that we'll be describing the steps from the text. Steps are used in a process. Steps are the actions that we need in order to get the job done, to build the magnificent thing. In our text, who was taking all of the steps to build the most magnificent thing? Who was it? That's right, it was the little girl, and her assistant sort of helped too, right? We're going to open up our text, read a few of the pages, and we're going to really listen closely to see if we can find some of those steps that the little girl took to build her magnificent thing. Let's get ready to read. We have already read the most magnificent thing completely. So today, I'm just going to reread the pages that show us those steps that the character is taking. Let's look at page 3. Listen and look closely for our first step. She knows just how it will look. She knows just how it will work. All she has to do is make it. And she makes things all the time. Easy peasy. I'm going to zoom in on that picture for you. What is the girl doing in this picture? What is she doing here? Yes, she is planning, brainstorming, sketching, lots of work going in at the beginning. And we can really call all of these things planning. Can you say that with me? Planning. That's right. To keep up with all of these steps that we're going to hear in our text, we're going to put them on an anchor chart. Look at the chart on the screen. You'll see the picture or the illustration from page 3. And on this column that says name of the step, we're going to write planning. Her first step was planning, and that's going to be your first step in building your magnificent thing too. Let's look for step number 2. We're going to skip a few pages. All right, let's start right here. The girl tinkers and hammers and measures, with her assistant pouncing and growling and chews. So on this page right here, let me zoom in for you. We're seeing a lot of tinkering, measuring. What is the girl doing on this page? She's not planning because we see that she has tools in her hands. What could you say she's doing here, especially here in these pages, in these illustrations at the top? What is the girl doing? Yes, she is building. And really, we could say that on this page, she is working. Can you say that with me? Working. Good. On our anchor chart for step number 2, let's add work beside the second illustration. Okay, so far, step number 1 is to plan. That's what she did. Then step number 2, she had to work. That's what you're gonna do too. Let's keep reading to see what her last step is. When she is finished, she steps back to admire her work. She walks around one side. Her assistant examines the other side. It doesn't look right. Her assistant picks it up and gives it a shake. It doesn't feel right either. They are shocked to discover that the thing isn't magnificent or good. It isn't even kind of sort of okay. It's all wrong. The girl tosses it aside and she gives it another go. Let's look at that page. You know, my favorite sentence from this page says, the girl tosses it aside and she gives it another go. So she's not giving up. What is she deciding that she's going to do here? She's using initiative. She's deciding that she's going to do something. What is she going to do? She is going to give it another go. So for this page, really, I think what she's doing is she's deciding to revise her work. Sometimes we do that in our writing. We plan for our writing, we work and we do the writing, and then we have to stop, go back and revise what we've written. That's what she's having to do here with her building of her magnificent thing. She planned it, then she had to work and build it, and now she is revising it. Or edit, that might be a word that you've heard that's similar. Let's add revise to our chart. In the third box, the name of this step is revise. Take a look at our 3 steps that we have so far. I want you to say them with me. Number 1 is planning. Number 2 is, let me hear you say it by yourself. Work. Good. And number 3 is revise. You are going to be doing all 3 of these steps when it's your turn to build your magnificent thing. Now we know through reading our text for a couple of days that we're going to need some things to help us build. Some of the things we'll hold in our hands, and some of the things aren't in our hands. What could I be talking about? Do you think you know? Tools, that's right. What's the second thing? Habits of character, yes. For you to be able to build your magnificent thing, you'll probably need some tools that you'll hold in your hand that will help you build your magnificent thing. But you'll also need to use those habits of character, just like our main character, the girl, does in our text. I know that you are so excited to get started on step number 1, planning for your magnificent thing. But let's make sure that we hit our learning target before we start planning. Today's learning target says, I can describe steps used in the most magnificent thing to build a magnificent thing. Okay, so I wonder, can you describe those steps to me? I want you to tell me, what is step number 1? Planning, good. And what does it mean to plan? Yes, we're thinking about what we're going to be doing. We're brainstorming, and we're showing some initiative too, deciding what to make and doing it. What is step number 2? That's right, step number 2 is work. Now, you don't know quite yet what your magnificent thing will be, but you know that you'll have to use some tools to get the job done. What was step number 3? Yes, revise. What does it mean to go back and revise your work? Yes, when we go back and revise, we're editing our work to make it better. We're looking at what does work and what doesn't work. You'll definitely have to revise your work with your most magnificent thing. Okay, I think you've hit that learning target. So let's talk about what's next. Today, during independent work, you get to start step number 1, planning. You're going to be thinking about what you want to build. Remember, your guiding question is, what is something you could make that can help you learn? What is something you could make that will help you learn? Maybe your class or your house, you need a pencil holder or a place to turn in your work. Maybe you need something for your centers or your stations. So today you're going to be brainstorming and really thinking about what do you need to help you learn. Today in independent work, you'll be sketching out those ideas either on a piece of paper from your teacher or just on a blank piece of paper. Sketch out some ideas of what you might want to make. I can't wait to see your sketches and your plans for what you hope to make. I will see you next time. Bye, friends.